Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth and today's guest is Jono Petrohilos. Jono is the co-founder and director of Fitness Education Online, the largest provider of online courses for fitness professionals in Australia. Jono's company sells over 100 online courses a month and generates over $1 million a year in revenue. And he's recently started up a new business as well, the Course Creator Community, where he helps aspiring course creators to do the same. And today we're going to be talking about his journey of building $1 million online course business for fitness instructors. Now, before we start learning from Jono, I want to mention our sponsor. So today's sponsor is my company, Data Driven Marketing. And what we do is we help online course creators to increase their revenue 20 to 100% through strategic funnel optimization. What we do is we help you convert more visitors to leads, leads to sales, and sales to higher revenue sales. So if you want to learn how much more you could be making from the ideal funnel, go to datadrivenmarketing.co/calculator. And Jono, welcome to the show, man.
No, thank you, John. I'm glad to be here. I failed art at high school, but the art of selling courses is one thing I'm actually pretty confident of. So I'm glad to be here. I'm huge fan of the show. Huge fan of the show. You know, I've heard a couple of my friends on here, so I'm just excited to share some tips and help wherever I can.
Perfect. That's awesome, man. Thank you. So talk to me. You help personal trainers. How did you get into that in the first place?
Yes. Well, long story short, I used to be a personal trainer myself and I sucked. I used to run a fitness boot camp, John. There were 75 different franchise locations all across Australia and New Zealand, and you were ranked on how good you were. 1 being the best, 75 being the worst. Take a guess what you think I was ranked, John, starting off.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark. You're in the 70s from your description. Yeah?
Yes, 75, all right, dead last. But I loved what I did, and I didn't want to lose my franchise. So, you know, I was tossing and turning, couldn't sleep at night. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just do maybe I should do a course or a workshop on how to get better. So I did a course and a workshop on how to get better. And then, 12 weeks later, I was ranked number 30. And I was like, these courses, you know what? Surprise, surprise. If you actually go and study something, you get better at it. So then I went and did another course. Then I was in the top 20 and I did another one. And then long story short, 12 months later, was actually ranked number 1. And that just lit a fire. And I was like, oh, man, I want to keep going. I opened up a second location. And I was always doing courses along the way, learning different skill sets. And then it got to a point. I was like, you know what? I feel like I could put together something that's better than anything out there, because the sort of personal training that I was doing was an outdoor boot camp. And the courses that I was participating in weren't necessarily specific for an outdoor boot camp. Like, say, for example, I will do a course on how to use kettlebells, but it's not specifically kettlebells in an outdoor boot camp setting. And if you're not in the fitness sense, this may not make a lot of sense, but I'll try and give a simple example. Let's say you're at a gym and you're teaching a group fitness class and there's 20 kettlebells just sitting in that room, and they're all different weights and different sizes. And there's also TRXs and medicine balls. That's worlds apart to a trainer that's driving to a park that's got 2 or 3 kettlebells in his car, right? Or his or her car. So I was like, you know what? I think I can put something that's better than anything else out there and also different as well. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put an online course together. Didn't have a clue what an online course was at the time, but I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this thing called an ebook. And I'm like, what the crap is an ebook? This is back in 2014. I was like, what's an ebook? Because I wasn't a tech guy. I was a fitness guy, a trainer. I tried to avoid tech. And I was like, all right, let me download this ebook. Downloaded it. And I was like, hold on. This is just a Microsoft Word document saved as a PDF. I'm like, I'm no technological genius, but I know how to do a Microsoft Word document and save it as a PDF. Opened up Microsoft Word and put together this manual with my business partner as well, Travis, like an 80-page manual, everything a personal trainer needed to put together a successful bootcamp. So put it together as a manual, hit save, saved it as a PDF. And then I was like, hold on, it's okay, but just looks like a Microsoft Word document. How can I make it look better? So I added some borders and some photos and some page numbers, and I actually made it look worse, believe it or not, John, because I didn't know how to use that stuff there. But then I discovered this website, Fiverr, And I was like, oh, well, okay, give someone $5 and they'll do whatever you want. Paid someone on Fiverr. They made it look $5, made it look way better than what I did. And then I was scrolling through Fiverr, and there was someone on there that said they'd slapped themselves in the face for $5. And I'm like, what is this website? But I was like, you know what? I'll check it out for a bit of fun. So I paid the person $5. They sent me over a video of them slapping themselves in the face. And it wasn't a bad, it was a solid slap. And I was like, man, the things some people do for money, how pathetic are some of these people? But then I had a look at what he actually sent me. It was an unlisted YouTube video, right? And it had like 500,000 views on it. And no, I think it was 100,000 views on it. And I was like, hold on, this guy just slapped himself in the face once, and then he sold that 100,000 times for $5 a head. I don't know what Fiverr takes, but that guy's made $500,000 from slapping himself in the face. And that it did two things. Firstly, it motivated me. I'm like, man, this guy can make $500,000. And like, he wasn't a tech genius. You looked at him, he wasn't that good looking, could barely speak English, no charisma, no personality. If he can make $500,000 by slapping himself in the face once,
very slappable.
What the hell? Yeah, it was very slappable, I'm like, what the hell is my excuse? So that motivated me, but it also showed me, you know what? I can get video content on this as well. So I uploaded some videos to YouTube, put them together, yada, yada, yada. That was my first course there. PDF document, some unlisted YouTube videos, and some Fiverr edits there. That's how I got into it.
Cool. So skipping ahead a little bit in terms of once you got to the point where you got a model that worked for you, what was it that worked, or what works now in terms of like actually generating the sales for those courses?
Yes, good question. So for me, it was Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. I'd always sell a few of them organically, but when I say a few, I mean like one a month. Right? It was never going to be a full-time business for me. And then I discovered Facebook ads. I can't remember how I was just listening to podcasts, and everyone was like, you know what? Facebook ads, Facebook ads, Facebook ads. And I'm like, all right, let me learn this Facebook ad side of things. Hired someone to do them for me. Kim Barrett, actually, I think he's a friend of yours, John.
Yeah.
So this was back in 2014. His sister actually worked at the same boot camp franchise as me. Because, there were all these people trying to sell me things online. I didn't trust any of them, but I was like, this Kim Barrett guy, he's Ashley's brother. You know what? Ashley's quite a cool person. So, I'll reach out to Kim Barrett. Reached out. It was the biggest investment I ever made, $5,000 for a month's work. My car cost $2,000. Paid Kim $5,000. So it was a big investment at the time, but probably the best investment I've ever made, because the leads just started pouring in from there. I was doing some email marketing, and that's how I was making most of the sales before Facebook ads. But my list was shrinking because I'd send an email, I'd make a few sales, but I'd get some unsubscribes. And I only had a couple hundred people on that list. And I was like, it's going to get down to zero. I'm going to make some money, but it's going to get down to zero. I need it to get higher and make money. So, started running Facebook ads, which, built the list.
Nice. So what's the model? How does it work? Someone sees your ad. What's the next step that happens for them?
Yes. So the ad, and this is where it's a little bit different to what most people do. I just promote my course directly. Right? A lot of people will promote a lead magnet. There's a lot of tiny offers going around at the moment. Buy this thing for $27 and, get the cost back on lead or whatever. I just promote my course directly. So I should go back a step. I've got about 40 different online courses now. They all sort of sell at different things, right? But I've tested them all on Facebook ads. So I'll put out a Facebook ad promoting a different course, and I've realized what courses get the cheapest leads and the most sales. So I focus on those ones now. I'll put out an ad which essentially says, hey, are you a personal trainer and you want to get better at insert what thing is? I've actually, the copy is a whole other story, but I'm just simplifying it for everyone listening. The ad is just promoting the course itself. It's calling out the personal trainer. Do you want to get better at this thing here? I've actually got a course. You're going to learn blah, 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 blah. Click below to learn more. Person clicks the ad there. They enter in their name, number, and email and hit learn more. I do it via the Facebook lead ad. So if anyone's listening to this and they've mucked around with Facebook before, I quite like the Facebook lead ad system for a few different reasons. Number one, it saves me time. I don't need to create an awesome landing page. Number two, I found Facebook actually prefers it because especially now with all the iOS changes and all that sort of stuff, you don't even know where the leads are coming from, whether it's tracking. But I find if I use Facebook system, it's a lot easier. So I run Facebook lead ad promoting the course. Person enters in their name, number, and email, hits learn more. If they hit learn more, then they go to like a sales page. Hey, here's what it is. Here's the discount if you register today. Some people purchase like that. Not many. I don't even know the stats. So low that I don't even keep those stats there, but some people do. They'll also get 3 or 4 different emails. It's simulated to be like a 4-day special. Right, you enter in your details. Right. Hey, here's the thing. Register today. Here's the code. An email the next day. Hey, look, I see you didn't register. Just want to let you know a little bit about the course. Blah 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 blah. Email the next day after that. Hey, just letting you know, here's a little bit more about the course, and also the special ends at 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. And then the email on the 4th day. Hey, just letting you know the special ends today. If you don't sign up today, you miss out. A few more people sign up with that way there. I don't have those exact numbers there. And then I've got a sales team that works for me now, but I used to do these sales myself. I would also give that person a call as well. All right. So it's sort of a 3-prong approach. With all of those, it's give or take a 10 to 20% conversion rate. Let's even just be conservative and say 10%. My average course costs about $500. So what I essentially do is put $500 a week on a Facebook ad for a particular course. I'm going to get, we'll just simplify again. Let's say I get leads for about $10. I'll get about 50 leads with that system there. And of those 50, about 5 people will sign up. So we do the math on that. 5 times 500 is 2,500. The original cost for the ad, that's a $2,000 profit on the front end. I usually have a couple different ads going at once, usually 2 different ads. When I say, 2 different campaigns with 2 different courses that I'm promoting there. What will happen is one of them will start to die down. It sort of runs its due or whatever. I'll then turn that one off. I'll then set up another ad for a different course. And then the second one will start to die down. I turn that one off. And then, so I've got like 4 or 5 different courses that I know sell really good on Facebook. And it just depends which ones of those are going on. That's the front end side of things. But what's just as important as that is the building the list. I'm lucky that I make money on the front end. Even if it was just a break even, I would settle with that, providing I'm getting 50 leads, because that's 50 people into my email database. And then I send 3 to 4 emails out every single week on like promoting a different course every single week. I've got like a 12-week cycle there again. So essentially 12 different courses that I know sell really well on email. Every week is almost like a mini launch going out to those people there. That's it in a nutshell. Does that make sense, that system?
It totally does. What's fascinating with it, I think, is that you make such a good return on that front end. How much of that is from the calls versus from the emails?
Oh, I don't have the exact numbers, but I would probably say 90% the call.
Wow.
So I'd say out of, I get 10 sales, maybe 1 in 10 is just, directly off the email or the landing page. 9 are probably from the phone call.
There's something super interesting there, because a lot of online course creators, part of what they want and how they work is they don't want to be on phone calls. They don't want to be talking. They want to be doing everything online, working remotely, doing everything at their own pace. But the people I know who make the most money, who are selling online courses, either do a lot on the phone or have a team who are on the phone. And it's super interesting, because there's something there that I don't know for most people how it fits. I think a lot of people, if I suggested to them, they get on the phone and would make more money, they're like, I don't care. There is no way that I'm doing it. And they don't know how to run a sales team, and they don't know how the whole thing fits together. But if you are able to set that up, there is something incredibly powerful. Do you have more expensive stuff as well that you sell through the phone, as well as the $500?
Not through the phone, believe it or not. So the more expensive program I have is a $2,000 program, but I only sell that to a warm audience via a webinar. So the way that funnel works, so the front end is just to get people in, right? I know that, and also I know my market well. I know that personal trainers will pay $500 to do an online workshop. It's what you do in the personal training industry, and right. That's a whole nother side of things, where if you know your niche well enough and the offer's validated, because I knew that price point would work because I'd been paying it for 2 years. If we go back to that original story, I've been doing all these workshops for 2 years, paying $500, and there'd be 20, 30 trainers in there. So I knew the model worked, So, but if we go back there to the question, so I sell a $2,000 course, but I find that's quite a jump for a cold audience in the personal trainer industry. They'll throw away $500 and not even log on to the course sometimes, all right? But $2,000 to someone you don't know, it's just a big jump for a personal trainer. But if someone's been in my list for a while, they get my emails, they're in my Facebook group, I'll run a webinar every month, slightly different strategy, but just simplify it. Let's just say I run a webinar every month, which essentially sells people into an 8-week coaching program, which is $2,000, but I don't run ads for that. The people that sign up for that are people that have two different things, right? It's either someone that's bought a course and then wants to go to the next level, or a lot of the people haven't even bought a course. They're people that opted in, but didn't buy the course originally because they wanted to check us out or whatever, or they may have even got on the phone, and had a phone consult and not bought, but, they've had a thought about it and they sign up 2-3 months later to a more expensive thing there. That's the other advantage of the phone. Not only will you close way more people just by doing it, but even the people that you don't close will be more likely to sign up later on off your webinar or off your, in my experience, they'll be more likely to sign up later off a Facebook post or off a webinar or off an email. Because it's sort of like, even if you do everything properly, and don't get me wrong, I still think you should do everything possible to make that sale then and then, because if you don't, it goes down later. But there's always going to be those people that just, whatever you do, are not going to buy then and then. If you treat everything properly, you've almost done the hard work up front. So if you spend 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes even on a sales call and that person doesn't sign up, it sucks. You feel like you've wasted your time. But a lot of the time, those people come back later if you've got the follow-up strategies in place, in my experience.
Fascinating. So you've got Facebook ads going through to a lead ad. And just to explain to everybody who doesn't know, a lead ad is basically a form that's built into Facebook. So the person never leaves Facebook. And in fact, some of the information is often pre-filled. If Facebook knows that person's email, they'll pre-fill that in the form. So you don't have to have a landing page. So you go through to the lead ad. That then takes them to an offer straight away for the course. They get a few emails. Then they get a phone call somewhere in that 4-day period, offering the $500 course. That makes you money. Gradually, they stop working, as so many people have seen that, and you go through to another one. Someone gets on your list, they either buy or they don't buy. You then have 12 courses that you promote over 12 weeks, 1 course per week, which is almost exactly what we recommend to everybody. We say to most people to do 2 a month, one promotion every 2 weeks, but doing 1 a week is sometimes even better. And the fact that you cycle through them, I love, because most people get really worried about like, oh, no, I can't promote anything that I promoted in the last year or something. So no, you totally can. Just go back to the first course and promote that again, because most people didn't read your email. If they did read your, some people weren't on your list. If they were on your list, they probably didn't open it. If they opened it, they probably didn't read it. If they read it, they probably didn't get to the end. If they got to the end and they got to the sales page, well, then send it again, because now might be the right time. Now they might be ready to buy. So that I love as well. How is that working so well? Like, what's that part with the calls? I think is fascinating, because it's totally different to what most people would do, but it seems like it's an absolutely essential part of your process. Is that a standard way that personal trainer courses are sold, and you got it from that? Like, how did you start doing that?
Yes and no. So my goal originally, like any course creator, was just to do it without getting on the phone. All right. I had my email list. Go back to the start. I had 200 people on an email list. I was making some sales. I was like, great. All I got to do is get more people on this email list. So I started running Facebook ads without a phone call to start with. It was just, enter your email and then you go through that chain there. But I was losing money, right? On short term anyway. It was like I'd put $500 in, or not even 500, whatever. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I wouldn't get an ROI on the front end. And I was sort of like, oh, you know what? It's still sort of working because I'm making the money back on the back end, but I can't really scale it. It's not like I can say, hey, I made X amount of dollars on this here, so I can go back there. So trying it with just the email didn't work. And then I just opted into different ads on Facebook or whatever that would help you optimize. And, someone gave me a call and they were like, all right, run me through your funnel. How does it work? Yada, yada, yada. They're like, all right, cool. What are you saying on the sales call? I'm like, sales call? What the hell are you talking about sales call? It's an email that I ask. They're like, oh, why don't you ask for phone numbers? I'm like, why would I do that? It's an online course. And they're like, yep, that's your problem. And I'm like, really? But it was so authentic because and then I bought that person's sales program, right? But it was sort of like, well, I bought that person's program because they actually called me up. If they didn't call me up, it would have gone to my junk, or I would have looked at it and never bought, or yada, yada, yada. So I was like, all right, let me try this and see what happens. So then I started putting the phone number in there, and then I think it worked. I think it works for a couple different reasons for me. Number one, with that business, I only sell in Australia. Right. Actually, for that model, I've got a different model that I use in the USA because I don't get on the phone in the USA because it just doesn't work. The time zones, as you know, with me and you, the time zones are completely different. They see an Australian number, they're not going to answer that. I put it on private number, it's even less likely. It doesn't work internationally, that model there, right? So I think part of the reason why it works for me over here is it's Australian to Australian. I'm calling an Australian person. They probably think it's their friend or, something like that. They'll actually answer their phone there. So that works there. And the other thing is just not a lot of people do it. So it's just a point of difference. Here in Australia, anyway, if someone calls you, it's usually not an Australian, it's usually from someone from India or the Philippines or whatever. So, I think if it's Australia to Australia, it's just very like, oh shit, this person's actually from Australia. Oh, they actually work for the company. Oh, I'm actually going to talk to this person and ask them different questions, yada, yada, yada. So that's why I think that model there works. Internationally, I don't know if it's going to work like that or that good anyway. But I think the reason why it works so well is Australia to Australia.
Interesting. Okay. So I would say to most people listening, careful around copying what Jono is saying directly, because there's a whole bunch of things he said that are like, he knows his niche, he knows what courses they'll buy, he knows what price point they'll pay for it, he knows that this thing works in Australia to Australia. It's like there's a whole load of really interesting things that, like, as a test would be great to run. But I would say don't just run it and say, oh, Jono does that, it works, great, I'll do that, it'll work. It's like there's a lot of nuance that you've got in there in terms of what you've figured out and what you've understood and how well you know your market.
I'll put it in perspective. So the ads that I do run in the USA are completely different because over in the USA, the same courses cost about 200 US. So about half, right? So I can't use that same strategy going over there. It just doesn't work because I know the audience over there as well. I know the price point that is the no-brainer, buy on the spot price. So it's completely different over there, the way I market on ads.
Nice. When you're running those email promotions every week, what kind of thing are you saying in those emails? Like what's the content of those emails to get people to buy the courses?
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll simplify that. And also I've hired a salesperson to do that as well. So now it's like, originally I used to do everything on my own, but now I've got a sales and marketing manager. So she sends all my emails, she runs all the Facebook ads, and then she runs the sales teams who do the calls there as well. But she uses my system anyway. So I think that's an important lesson as well. I didn't just say, oh, let me go and hire a copywriter to go and do this stuff here. I learned all this stuff myself. And then I taught someone underneath me my system, and then they, were able to run my system there. So that's a more affordable way to do it. But it's just better. I prefer hiring someone in-house to do all that stuff there. So Claudia sends my emails. You know what? I'll go back to when I used to send them because I'll be able to give a better answer there. So I used to send 4 emails for the one promotion, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday's email was basically just, hey guys, what's happening? Jono here. I had an awesome weekend. Just letting you know, this is the special this week here. Click below to check it out. Right. But I don't say what the special is. It's almost sort of clickbait, right? People, I want to do what the special is this week here. Let me click it there. That looks good. No, that doesn't look good. So that's usually the Monday email. The Tuesday email is usually a tip. Right. Say, for example, hey people, what's happening? Just wanted to share my favorite boot camp, my favorite kettlebell workout. It's the 20-minute AMRAP where it's, 20 swings and then 20 squats and then 20 hip thrusts and 20 bent over rows and then, 20 push-ups. And hey, if you're a trainer and you want to get better at using kettlebells, we've actually got a full course that's got like hundreds of these workouts here and show you all the different exercises and yada, yada, yada. Click below to learn more. So that's like a tip. The Wednesday will be a bit more like traditional copy. So let's say I'm selling the kettlebell course again. It might be something where it's like, hey, you know what the biggest problem that most trainers have with kettlebells? It's that they haven't done a course. So they just do the same exercise over and over again. It's kettlebell swings and it gets boring and, the clients get hurt and it just doesn't work. You know what's better? You should have at least 100 different kettlebell exercises and know how to do them all properly and have the techniques, yada, yada, yada. Hey, if you want to learn that, I've actually got a course. So it's a bit more like tradition. The Tuesday is a bit more like a tip. Just I'm giving you value here. I'm not no ulterior motive at all. It's just pretty much value. The Wednesday one is a bit more copy. It's a bit more like I'm being a bit sneaky, and not really giving you a specific tip, but more trying to influence you to buy. And then Thursday's email is essentially, hey, special ends tonight, click below to get it, or you're paying an extra $200 if you try and sign up next week. Because all these courses are also on my website as well at full price. So if you go to my website, there's 40 different courses there at full price. You can buy it anytime. But when I send that email out, there's always some special, usually a price discount or it's always a price discount actually. And maybe even some more things as well where courses added on or whatever.
Nice. I think this is one of the things that people miss more than anything, and people get stuck with this more than anything, is about just doing regular email promotions. Most people I talk to do maybe 3 a year, and I'm like, okay.
I do that in a week.
At least 2. Yeah. Well, but they'll promote 3 courses, so they'll have more than 3 emails.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But they'll have a discount for Black Friday, and then July 4th, and then New Year maybe, and it upsets me actually, because I'm like, you're leaving so much money on the table here. You've got so many people who would buy from you, who would be keen to get these courses, and they don't even know they exist. So we had a client who did a survey of his audience to find out what other courses should he make, or like what courses do people think he should have, because he felt like, I've only got 10, I need more. And he found out from them that a lot of people wanted a course on this certain topic, and he's like, I've already got a course on that topic. We just hadn't been telling people about it. He hadn't actually shared that this course existed. It's like, well, this is lunacy. You've got to start sending emails to people, telling them about this stuff, promoting it, talking about the benefits of it, giving tips from it, giving all this kind of information about it, so that they at least know you have it. And the big concern a lot of people have, there's a few. One is that if they keep doing promotions, they'll train their audience just to buy when stuff is on special offer, to which I always answer, yeah, okay, so that's how online course promotion works. Raise your prices a bit and then discount it to whatever you want to sell it at. Secondly, people are worried they're going to be too aggressive and spammy. But if you make the emails useful, then that is no problem at all. And then the third thing is they're worried about how long it's going to take to write. But then once you've written 12 promotions for 12 courses, you just cycle back through them again. Well, that's it. You've done 12 weeks of work. You never have to do it again. You can make them better if you want, but like that's enough. And people get stuck a lot with it. That's a big part of our program, is helping people to get unstuck from that, to be like, let's get you past those blockages and help you to start, actually sending these out. What would you say to people if they're stuck with any of those things?
Okay, yeah. So good question. And the reason why I think it's easy for me as well is going back to my fitness days. I used to run 12-week challenges, and it was the same thing. Like I would have 12 weeks worth of workouts, right? And then after 12 weeks, I just go back to workout 1 again, and it's like, and it's the same philosophy, it's like, now I've got new clients that weren't there 12 weeks ago, right? Or maybe you missed that session Monday morning on week 3 and Wednesday, you missed that session. So now you're doing it for the first time, or maybe you've just freaking forgotten, do you remember what workout you did exactly 12 weeks ago this day, John? Probably not. No. Right. So similar thing with email there. And it was funny. Like, I can't remember who was it. Ryan Lee. Yeah. So it used to be do you know who Ryan Lee is? Have you heard of him?
No.
So he's he was a fitness marketer guy. Now he does general entrepreneur marketing. And he's the one that I learned it from. Hey, send an email a day. And like when I told my friends and who weren't in the entrepreneur space, they're just like, are you crazy? An email a day, like that's the worst thing you can do. People are going to unsubscribe, yada, yada, yada. And I just had so much trust in him, because I'm like, well, hold on, this guy's making millions of dollars a year. My friends are working 9 to 5, making $50,000 a year. Maybe I should listen to the guy making a few $1 million. So I just did it. And my first couple of emails sucked. I did get a lot of unsubscribes and people stop emailing me and whatever. But I think like everything in life, the first time you do anything, you're going to suck at it. The first podcast you do, you're going to suck at it. The first online course create, you're going to suck at. The first workout you're going to do, you're going to be pathetic at. So I think the only way is just to do it. And I do think most people will probably get lucky. As long as you don't completely suck, you're probably going to make a sale or two. And that's like enough. I think that's what got me. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this email a day thing and see what happens. And I think because I wasn't doing super regular emails, I started to say, all right, this week I'm going to do an email a day. And it was my best week ever. And I was like, oh, maybe this stuff works. I did it again the next week. It was another good one. I'm like, oh, this stuff actually does work, So I think that would be my advice. I would be like, hey, everyone that's making a lot of money online is doing this irregular email thing. You're going to do it. You're going to suck to start with. You're going to get some unsubscribes. You're going to get people telling you to stop emailing them. Probably not very motivating. I'm sorry, but it's just being real. That's going to happen. But you're probably going to make a few sales. For me, that's fine. If I don't mind if you unsubscribe. These other people are buying my course and I'm making money. And then you're just going to get better and better. Your emails are going to get better and you're going to make more sales and you're going to get less unsubscribes. You're going to get less people telling you to stop emailing them. You're going to get more confident as well. You're going to get more creative. And yeah, that would be my advice. Just do it. Know you're going to suck at it, but you're probably going to get lucky and make some sales. And then you're just going to get better and better from there.
I love it. That's great. Now, the other thing that you told me that you do in there that was working really well was the Facebook group, and we haven't dug into that at all. So how does that, so everybody, as I understand it, everybody from the Facebook ads joins the email list, and then if they don't buy, you're also adding them into the Facebook group. How are you, when you say you're adding them in, I think that's what you said. How does that work technically? Okay. Are you inviting, uploading the list and inviting them, or how does it go?
Okay. So that actually used to be the thank you. So my Facebook lead ad used to be enter your details. Once they enter their details, it was like, great, check your email for the offer. In the meantime, click below and join our Facebook group. But Facebook's recently stopped allowing you to do that. My ad account actually got banned from doing that, right? So I had to start up the ad account getting banned is not too bad. You still keep your page and all that, but you got to create a new ad account there. So I no longer do that there, but it's in the email essentially. Okay. It's like, great. It's all over what we do. If someone's on the phone, oh, you didn't buy the course. Hey, by the way, we've got a Facebook group. Click here and join it. On the email, it's like, here's the thing to check it out. Also, by the way, we've got a Facebook group, yada, yada, yada. It's on the bottom of all our stuff there. So we get in that way there. But also I also do a lot of organic work as well. And the Facebook group is essentially the hook there. So I've got a decent following on Instagram, but I don't really use Instagram to sell. It's more just a lead gen. So anyone that follows me on Instagram, hey, thanks for the follow. Look, by the way, we've actually got a Facebook group. Do you want to join it? Bang, in there. That's my virtual assistant that does all that. Same on LinkedIn. So my virtual assistant's got a LinkedIn account, goes on LinkedIn, types in personal trainer. There's a billion of them in the world, or a million of them in the world there. Connect. Whoever accepts the request, hey, thanks for the connect. You're in the fitness industry, right? Oh, sweet. How we've actually got this Facebook group. Did you want to join it? Right. So it's not, so the Facebook group is essentially my lead magnet. Anything that I do organically, on my podcast, YouTube, whatever, like all roads lead to the Facebook group and the ads as well. And also it just pops up because it's the largest Facebook group in the world for fitness professionals now. So and it's very engaging, So it just pops up in people's feed, and most people join it just because they're like, hey, it popped up in my feed and I'm a trainer.
Okay, nice. And what kind of content are you putting in the Facebook group to help keep people warm?
Yes. Okay. Good question. I don't do anything in there now because I've got a team that does all.
I'm getting a recurring theme. It's like, I don't do the sales. I don't write the emails. It's like, it sounds like you've got something figured out here.
100%. And I barely work in that business now. It basically runs itself. And that's why I started the course creator community. In a nutshell, I'll do one sales post a week in there that's correlated. And when I say my team, right? Yeah. My team will make one sales post in there a week that's correlated to the Monday email. So whatever the special is on Monday, that goes up on in the Facebook group. Hey guys, with some copy, here's a special, yada, 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 a photo or something in there. Click below if you're interested. Oh, sorry, comment below if you're interested. Anyone that comments below, my virtual assistant will hit them up. Hey, here's the link, register today, use this as your coupon code and you get the discount, blah, 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 blah. And they essentially follow that chain. If that person doesn't sign up, they'll get a follow-up comment the next day. Hey, didn't look like your registration came through. Are you still interested? And then they'll get one on the Thursday. Hey, just about to remove the coupon code, yada, yada, yada. That's the sales side of things there. In terms of actual content, so I'll split this up into two ways. What works, there's two things that me and my team do. One of them is live videos, workout videos, all right? Now, it's a few things going on there. Live video is usually the best content to for the algorithm and that. But why the workout videos work so well for my audience is because that's what they want. Like I'm literally saying, hey, here's a workout I did today. You can literally do this tomorrow when you don't need to think. So that just keeps people really engaged there. It's like just so valuable. It's like, man, why would I leave this group? Every week I go here and get a new workout that I can use. The call to action is important there as well. So I explain the workout, but then I'm like, hey, if you want the written description of this workout, just comment written description down below and I'll get it over to you. So that gets a whole heap of engagement because everyone wants that. You're not going to remember from watching a video, right? You want it actually written down so you can take it to your class and what were the exercises? Oh, yeah, that's it there, right? So there's that style there. That's what works for me. The message I would say for the audience is just find what your audience wants and deliver them that there. For me, it just so happens to be live workouts that they can do with their clients. You got to figure that out yourself with your audience, but that's sort of your job, The other thing that works really well is just engaging questions. Now, not silly ones, not just like, hey, what's your favorite TV show? It's not a bit of that's okay, right? But what I like to do is just find what keeps my people passionate. All right. So let's say, for example, some of the ones that work really well in my audience, it might be there's a few different ways. It can be simple things like, hey, what do you prefer? Kettlebells or dumbbells and why? Now, for your average person, that might sound like a silly question, but personal trainers are passionate. Some of the replies you get from that, like kettlebells, dumbbell, are you serious? You can't do a swing with a dumbbell. Kettlebell, you can do the swings and you can do the snatches and you can do it, and then someone's like, dumbbells for sure. Kettlebells, that's the best way to hurt your back. You can't, it just gets good conversation going, which leads well with the conversation. It helps with your algorithm because then the more things you're going to post to help, but it just helps you to identify your audience. Because if you know what fires them up and what gets them to comment, you're going to write better copy. You're going to be better at sales. All that stuff is going to help there. If you do a post and no one really engages, like I don't care if someone likes it or not, but I care because it's like, oh man, I don't know my audience well enough. Right. That's the other type of thing I post there. They're probably the three things that me or my team post the most is like one sales post, at least one sort of content piece that works really well, and then a couple engaging questions. If you do that, there's a post a day. But what's more important I found in a group is not so much what I post, it's getting other people to post. Right? Because the value of a group is in a community. It's like, I want my Facebook group to be better than Google. If a personal trainer wants to know, like, hey, where's the best place to buy a kettlebell? I don't want them to search Google. I want them to type in my Facebook group. Hey guys, where do you get your kettlebells from? Right? Someone wants to work out whatever it is. Firstly, that helps me with sales because if someone says, hey, does anyone know a kettlebell course? Well, hey, I've actually got one here, Does anyone know a sales course to do? Yeah, I've actually got one here. But it just helps with the community and it makes the group look better. If someone joins a group and there's other people posting good stuff, not just trying to sell things, then it makes the group more valuable. It helps with your engagement. Now it pretty much runs itself, but I did do a lot of things to start with to get that group engaged. And just some little things that anyone can do is action tasks in your course. All right. And there's a few different things. Just a simple one is, in your module, you might say, hey, make a post in the group and introduce yourself. Here's a script you can use, yada, yada, yada. It's quite a simple one that can be effective. And the reason why that can be effective is anyone goes in my group, whether they buy the course or not, right? So let's say, for example, 5 people buy my course today and they make a post in the Facebook group introducing themselves. Someone that never bought the course will join that group, will have a look and be like, oh, looks like you just introduced yourself in this group. I'm going to go and introduce myself. Right. So it just gets even more traction going. Even in specific, let's keep using kettlebells as an example. one of my questions in the one of my action tasks in the course is, hey, I want you to go and post in the Facebook group, ask everyone what weight kettlebells they bring to their boot camp. Here's what I recommend, but hey, there's 15,000 trainers in this group here. Go and ask them. All right. So that'll be a question asked, right? Another one in there is, hey, ask everyone what their favorite kettlebell workout is. We've listed heaps of them here, but post in the Facebook group, you might get 50, 100 different new ones there as well. So that person will go and post there. But what's important is it's a win. Like, they're not just going there and posting silly stuff. They're going on there and saying, hey guys, what's your favorite kettlebell workout? Let's say 50 people comment. That person's got 50 new workouts. That's a win for that person there. Right. On top of that as well, trainers love sharing their workouts. So like, people be in that group, oh yeah, I want to share this. Let me type in there. It's a win for everyone else. Even that, because let's say, for example, maybe you didn't buy the kettlebell course, but you join this group and you see someone's asked a question, hey, what's your best kettlebell workout? And you see 50 things. Sick. Let me screenshot this. Let me go and write down all these things. Like, it just creates a really valuable experience. So and also, like, any questions I get asked, it's a Facebook group. Someone sends me an email, hey, Jono, I don't understand this thing here. Can you explain it? Hey, good question, but can you post it in the Facebook group? Because I'm sure other people have that same question as well. I'd love to get them to hear it. Someone sends me a text message, whatever. I just funnel everything into the Facebook group, which is easier for me to control. I'm not replying to a text and then sending an email and, whatever. It's just, I check the Facebook group once a day, or I don't even check the group once a day now, but, someone checks the group once a day and answers it. Someone else in the group might answer the question, which is even a better experience still for the other person in there. It's a bit of work at the start, but once it rolls itself, like, the new members that go there are like, oh, you can just ask a question and people actually answer it and give you value, and there's no idiots in here, and this is sick. I'm going to stay in this group. So yeah, that's just a point I want to push. Anyone with a Facebook group, you should be good at your own posts, but also spend just as much time building the community and get other people to post as well.
Beautiful. Man, that has been so valuable. I really appreciate your time today, kind of talking everybody through this. It's quite a sophisticated system. The whole thing obviously all fits together. You obviously know your market really well. So thanks, John. I really appreciate your time today.
No, thank you for having me on.
If people want to check out your courses, either your personal trainer ones or the course creator community, where can they go?
Your best bet is probably my Facebook group. I just recommend everyone join the course creator community. Even if you're a fitness trainer, you can, follow me from there and get into my fitness stuff. But I'd say most people listening to this, probably course creators, just join the course creator community group on Facebook.
Perfect. If you found this video and this interview useful, then give us a review wherever you listen to it. We'd really appreciate it. And then come join the Advanced Course Creators group on Facebook as well. You'll get early access to future interviews and support with growing your online course sales. So thanks, Jono, and thanks everyone for listening.